In May of 2009, I embarked on my first woofing adventure with 3 of my friends. The trip was a graduation present to ourselves, and we were throwing our books to the wind in search of adventure, fun, and the opportunity to get our hands dirty. We made the trek from Thunder Bay, crossing 4 provincial borders, to the majestic Bella Coola Valley on the central coast of beautiful British Columbia. We were so excited to arrive at LaughingStock Farm, where we met our hosts Greg and Allison. They were ready for us with smiles and a long list of potential projects for us to tackle. For 2 weeks we discovered the farm in sunny springtime glory. Budding flowers and trees and the Bella Coola River on the back of the property flowing with crystal clear water from the mountain glaciers. We prepared and planted the garden, built fences and gates, harvested edibles from the forest around us, and hunted for eggs each morning. I learned to spin wool, and I even helped care for the animals. We sunk our teeth into farm life as much as we possibly could. A highlight for all of us was the birth of a lamb. Being city kids, we'd never really seen anything like this before. Just a couple of days later, we were even happier when 2 baby goats were born. We were in love. It was difficult to leave the little slice of paradise called LaughingStock Farm. I promised myself as we drove away that I would be back one day. One day was sooner than I thought, because in September 2010, I found myself back out on the farm, woofing for Greg and Allison and their now 15-month-old son, Henry. It was amazing to be back in the valley. This time I learned about harvesting food from the garden, how to milk the goats, how to make goat cheese, and I even saw grizzly bears. It was an exciting time in the valley, and I thought I was in for a nice farm stay. But then, tragedy struck. The experts said it was a 200-year flood. LaughingStock Farm was hit hard, and at the flood's peak, the entire property was submerged. We did as much as we could before evacuating to higher ground. So many people had invested their blood, sweat, and tears into LaughingStock Farm, but when we returned to the farm once the waters had receded, you could hardly tell. The garden, the fences, the house, the cabin, the animals. There was so much damage and loss. The goats survived, but only 4 sheep and 6 chickens made it through the ordeal. It was a complete nightmare. So my farming experience turned into a flood relief project. I stayed on for another month or so to help start the rebuilding process. In the horror of what happened, there was some hope. Little Henry was a bundle of sunshine who made us laugh and smile in the hard days that followed. I was taken in by a family of Thoreau. They took incredible care of me. It was amazing to see the whole valley community pull together to support each other in such a time of crisis, and I'll be eternally grateful for all of them. Reluctantly, I had to return home to my job, leaving a rebuilding Bella Coola behind. But not a day went by when I didn't think about my friends out west and the struggles that they were facing. That's why, when I found myself between jobs in the spring of 2011, I returned to LaughingStock Farm for a 3rd time to carry on with the rebuilding process. This time, I arrived not as Greg and Allison's woofer, but as a friend. I helped rebuild many of the structures destroyed by the flood. We expanded the garden and upgraded the chicken coop. In just a month, we turned the farm completely around. It was amazing. When I think about my woofing experience, I realize how lucky I am to have not only achieved my original goal of having fun, adventure, and the opportunity to really get involved, but to have come out of the experience with an irreplaceable connection to my once hosts and now good friends Allison and Greg, and also the entire Bella Coola community. That's what woofing is about for me. WWOOF Canada has given me an incredible opportunity, and I will forever be grateful. And who knows, maybe you'll see me out there in Bella Coola